and welcome to day 5 of a Good Enough Lent. Building a good day. An old Mennonite pastor was at the pulpit explaining the importance of time spent with God, and he took out a wide-mouthed mason jar. He began to drop stones of various sizes to the bottom, big, small, smooth, jagged, plunk, plunk, plunk. "Notice what happens when you put them in randomly," he said dramatically, and the jar filled quickly up to the top with dozens of stones left over. We shrugged. "Now, notice what happens when you put in the large stones first," he observed sagely, and I started to pay attention. The largest stones anchored the bottom. Then the medium stones, and then the small stones filled in all the cracks. Presto, all the stones fit snugly in the jar as each settled. And with Mennonites all around me, which is to say people deeply impressed by good common sense, I rolled my eyes and agreed it was the best thing I'd seen in months. For some people, the idea of prioritizing how to spend their day is very intimidating. I vividly remember my lonely grandfather, whom I loved more than butterscotch, explaining how the day felt absolutely interminable. In my recent conversation with author Mary Piper, she wholeheartedly agreed that a single day can feel impossible to wrangle into shape. As she got older, her friends were dying, and her role was changing rapidly, and all the familiar work of parenting and caregiving and working had given way to an entirely amorphous existence. She, like the Mennonite pastor, decided that the trick was to treat the day as something to prioritize. First, she decided there would have to be a walk. She would listen to the birds no matter what. "We need to learn how to structure a day that's rich in meaning and joy-producing activities," she writes. "How we spend our time defines who we are. There is no magical future. Today is our future." A day is a limited thing. It's a mason jar with only so much room to spare. So as the adage goes, first things first. It will take some time for you to decide what the big stones and the small stones should be. Some seasons of our lives are overwhelmingly crowded, and if that's the case for you just now, I completely understand. Maybe you can take a single moment, just breathe, and ground yourself in the remembrance that you are a complete delight. Just this could be your touchstone. The best days will have room for the big stones. That doesn't mean that everything has to happen in the morning. There are 24 self-help bestsellers at any moment ready to explain to you how to solve the problem of bad days by conquering your mornings. Sorry, some people like to sleep in. The structure of a good day is simply this: your biggest loves find their way in. Friends, God, meaning, family. Take some real unhurried time to reflect on a spiritual practice that might pop into your day. When is it practical for you? What is your preference? A night owl might choose to set aside a bedtime moment for their spiritual practice. Another might find that lunchtime is best. Either way, you will need a regular reminder to look for your spiritual time. And when your day is getting too stuffed, stop. Notice what's happening and look for the coming love that renews and restores goodness. Perhaps you have some serious limitations, a health condition or too much work or caregiving to do. My friend with leukemia recently told me that she began to see each day as capable of only 3 things: take a shower, call a friend, make lunch. Other days have 40,000 things that must be done. To be human is to accept that we are limited, and the more honesty we have about that, the better. If we want to build a good day, we can start with just that. One day, one jarful at a time. Prayer at the start of the day. Help me stop, and in that stopping, meet me here in the beauty, in the kindness that runs to find me wherever I have wandered off to, in the faithfulness I don't have enough of, in the safe harbor in the midst of the storm, and in that quiet place, speak gently. Speak gently. Amen. Think about the day you'll have tomorrow. Is there anything you can cross off or kick down the road? Don't crowd your day. What are your big loves? Allow them to take up space. And then do it again tomorrow. One good day at a time. And from the Good Enough Lent Companion Guide from online, there's a link below in the description of the video. You can download that for free. 3 little pieces here. 1, imagine that you have a completely free day. No clutter, no pressure. I know it's hard to picture, but just rest in that thought for a moment and breathe. Now, imagine that you could choose to do what is truly life-giving, joyful, and meaningful. You in particular, not anyone else. What might those things be? What memories, thoughts, hopes, or awarenesses are surfacing about what makes you feel most spiritually alive? How might you make these life-giving things more a part of your everyday and less about the someday or when I get less busy? Spirit of life, thank you for the in-breath of hope that my life could become a richer and truer expression, and the out-breath of your Spirit in me and through me. Help me build this beauty, this goodness into my life, one gentle day at a time.